what's up, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are talking about tips for highlighting oily, acne, textured, large pored skin. I am all of those things. So if you've been rocking with me for a minute now, you know that me, myself, I am not into highlighter. I am not a highlighter junkie at all. And my main reasoning for not being into highlighter is because of all of those skin conditions that I have. However, I have switched up my makeup game a touch. I have not been using liquid foundation I could probably say for a solid 3 weeks. The last time I put foundation on was when I did the Cover FX. When I was testing out the Cover FX for 2-3 weeks. After that, I just have not been reaching for it. I had realized, just for me personally, my skin, my face eats liquid foundation. It's not flattering, it's not pretty, it's just, I mean, it's doable if I get the right formula. For me, the perfect formula for my skin is Fenty Beauty. That works perfectly. So if I am gonna wear a foundation, I'll go with that one, but I haven't been touching anything. So since I haven't been doing any liquids, I've only been doing concealer and powder. That is what I have on today. So if you guys are interested in seeing my foundation routine with no liquid foundation, let me know down below. Since I've been doing powder and concealer, I have been able to pull off highlighter a little bit better, just simply because, one, the powder keeps my face matte, two, no liquid, which means we're skipping one less layer. I feel like it just lays over my skin much better. So we're going to be highlighting today with the new Becca Shimmering Perfector in Chocolate Geode. This is the new one that just came out, so we're going to be using this. Let's go ahead and jump into my tips. The number one tip that I am going to share with you guys, if you don't take away any other tip, please take this one. The best thing you can do if you have all of those issues with your skin is don't highlight. I know, you're probably like, what? Yes, don't highlight. Just simply because I think people fail to realize what highlighting is. When you highlight something, you are bringing it forward. You are bringing on the light. You're highlighting that one aspect. So let's say if you've got texture right here, or large pores, or acne, or you're breaking out, and you throw on highlighter there, it is just going to intensify and honestly make your skin look so much worse than it truly is. So if you have any of that stuff going on, just skip out on the highlighter altogether. I promise you it will look so much better, and it won't basically highlight your flaws, because you don't want to highlight your flaws. Next tip I have after this is not really so much a tip, it's just something that I feel like, trying to think of how I can say this. It's something that I have always noticed for a long time. So you have the social media makeup, and then you have the makeup artistry makeup. Before I really got into social media, I was already training to be a makeup artist. So once I started getting more into social media, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I can follow so many artists. And then after the artists came, oh my gosh, look at all these cool beauty influencers. And the thing is, there is a difference between a makeup artist and a beauty influencer. They are both talented and they are both excellent. There's nothing wrong with them. But that's one of the unique characteristics about me. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. However, my thought process and how I think is very makeup artistry. I don't do makeup like the social media makeup, not because I dislike it, just simply because that's not my style. And also for my artistry business, ain't nobody walking around like that. It's just not, okay? So know the difference between the two. So especially in regards to highlighting, whenever I'm highlighting on a client, all the highlighting that you see on social media, like glistening, metallic, beaming. No one does that. No artist does that on a client, especially on a client. Now, it's one thing if you're doing some really cool photo shoot and it calls for that because you're doing really cool makeup, understandable. But on a day-to-day basis, no one in real life or a client wants to have just that intense, crazy looking highlighting. So I think it's hard when you are just, a consumer and you're watching all these things on social media. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to highlight. It's like, yeah, actually, no, you don't. That style of highlighting isn't realistic. And the one part of it that probably drives me just up the wall, I cannot stand the nose highlight. Just that beaming right on the tip of the nose. Oh, it makes me cringe every time I see it. If you do it, I'm so sorry. That's the cool thing about makeup. It's subjective. It's your own opinion, to each his own. For me personally, I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Alright, the next tip that I have, if you are someone, again, that has all those skin things going on that I have, you want to make sure that your skin prep is on point. That's going to help you out a lot, to make sure you're cleansing, you're toning, you're moisturizing, and you are using some sort of mattifying primer, because the last thing that you want, especially for oily skin, is like when we're oily, we already have in our built-in highlight. We gotta glow, we gotta do. That's what I found with whenever I have on liquid foundation, even if it is a mattifying liquid foundation, I find myself getting oilier faster versus when I don't, just simply because, again, it's just that another layer. That's just the way it rolls. But when I just have one powder, well, when I have on my mattifying primer and then I have a powder over it, I can go a long time before I'm like beaming with my oil. So your skin prep is key. Make sure that you are using things that are geared towards oily skin, because the last thing that you want is to not do that. And then highlighting, again, it's going to bring things forward. It's going to make things stand out. So nothing worse is to already be oily and then just beaming because your highlight is out of control. It's just not, it's not a good look. You don't want to be the Tin Man, unless you do want to be the Tin Man. Some people are cool with that. And then the last tip that I have, only highlight where there is no texture. Again, that's going to vary for you every day. Typically when I highlight, and we're going to do a demo here soon, I highlight up in this area and I try not to bring it down any lower, just simply because my pores here are bigger. So I know if I put my highlight any further down, it is not going to look good. My pores are going to be looking wide open. So let's say if you're someone and you've got texture maybe on the sides or here, think about that really quick. It's like, wait a second, I probably shouldn't put highlight there. Also, again, your face shape is going to play a huge part in your highlighting as well. I know some people sometimes will highlight in the center of their foreheads. Well, guess what? I got a big old forehead, okay? And so the last thing that I need is to bring any more attention to here. So I don't do that. Some of the most common places to highlight: cheekbones, top of the brow, under the brow, down the center of the nose, forehead, cupid's bow, lips. Again, I don't ever highlight on my lip, first of all, because I feel like sometimes it looks like snot. And then secondly, I already have pretty full lips, so I'm not trying to bring any more attention to that. So let's go ahead and pull you guys closer so you can see this highlighting. My favorite way to put on highlighter is a good old fan brush here. We're going to be using this new Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This right here is going to be a banger for deep, chocolatey, dark skin. If you are lighter than me, I would not recommend getting this. I did a swatch of Topaz versus this one because I know a lot of people have questions on that. Alright, so to the left we have the new Becca Chocolate Geode, and then to the right we have Becca Topaz. Becca Topaz is way more of a yellow tone than the Chocolate Geode. The Chocolate Geode has a more coppery tone, bronzier tone to it, so I think that'll be perfect for darker complexions. So if you are lighter than I am, I would rock with the Topaz, but if you are my shade or deeper, this will be really, really pretty. My highlighting technique is easy, minimal, wham bam, thank you ma'am, you're good to go. So I'm going to grab my fan brush here and I'm just going to swirl it in, and when I swirl my brush in, I do tap off because I don't want a lot on. I just simply turn my head to the side, and just right on the top of my cheekbone is where I want my highlighter to go. Again, I don't want to bring it too far down, just simply because for me, my pores get bigger in this area, and therefore it's not going to look the best. Same thing over here. And then sometimes I will kind of go just on the side of the temples here. I just think it looks pretty when the light hits it when I turn my head. And then for the center of the nose, I do not put anything on the tip. I will just go right down the center. And if I feel like I got too much on the tip of my nose, I'll just wipe it off. The reason why I do this is just simply because it's another way to kind of just snatch your nose and give you more dimension. So you could either use just like a brighter concealer to do this. I do that a lot of the time on my clients, or on myself. I'll just take a little bit of highlighter, just go down the center of the nose. It'll just give you a little bit more dimension. And that is it. My highlighting is super easy. Let's talk about this Becca highlighter really quick. So I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, okay, what's the tea on this? Do I need it? Do you need this? I'm going to say no. Not because it's bad, just simply because I am not a highlighter junkie, and I just would not tell you guys to go out and spend $38 for a highlighter. I think that is crazy expensive. My reasoning for buying this is because I needed a new highlighter for my makeup kit. I'm getting ready for prom and bridal season, and I realized, hey, I'm out of highlighter for my darker complexions, and I saw this one. I was like, you know what? It can go on my kit. I can do a video on it, show you guys, give it my thoughts. But for the price of $38, do I think this is worth $38? No, and the reason why is because there are so many highlighters out there that will do the same job. Now, as far as Becca coming out with a highlighter that's going to work for deeper, darker complexions, I am here for it. I love it. If you are someone that loves a super, super blinky, fleeky highlight, this one will not be for you. But if you like a nice, soft, subtle highlight, you will really like it. I feel like this looks really, really pretty without having any light on. I'll make sure I go over to the sunlight in a second and show you guys what it looks like so you can see what it looks like when the light hits it. Alright guys, so just wanted to show you what it looks like in the sun. The sun's beaming pretty hard over my building right now, but it is nice, soft, and subtle. Super, super pretty. This is gonna be really, really beautiful on the skin in the summertime. Very, very pretty. There are a ton of dupes out here. If you are someone that cannot spend $38 on this, I totally get it, because that is a heck of a lot of money. My favorite my favorite highlighter that I use is the Makeup Revolution Rock On World. This one is $5, this one is $38. This is not a spot on dupe, however, it does the same trick, and it works really, really great for deep, dark complexions. So right here is the Rock On World by Makeup Revolution, and then over here is the Becca Chocolate Geode. This looks so pretty in the sunlight. It works really, really well, glides on smooth, and it's gonna give you that nice subtle glow. So if you're looking for something similar to this, I would definitely check at the Makeup Revolution. I know they have a lot of highlighters. This one is actually marketed as a Vivid Baked Bronzer, but I think it works perfect as a highlighter. So that is going to wrap up this video. I hope that these tips were helpful for you guys if you are someone who is struggling with texture and acne and large pores, and you do want to kind of, you know, put on a little bit of highlighter. I hope this helps for you. Also, if you can, see if you can test out wearing highlighter without liquid foundation. I know that's not practical for everybody, but again, like I've really been saying to you guys in the past couple of videos, take little tips and tricks that I'm giving you and try to work them into your makeup routine. Everything that I tell you isn't going to work for you, just simply because everyone's got different skin needs. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.